The resurrection of a new Otsutsuki on par with Otsutsuki Shibai. And that's the hottest news of the week after Chapter 18 was released. Amado's goal is gradually reaching a point where he will realize his dream from the very beginning. A woman whom we previously suspected to be Delta turned out to be a different vessel that Amado used as a clone to resurrect his daughter. However, regarding Amado's daughter, I honestly have some doubts about whether this is the same as reviving Otsutsuki Shibai or something related to him. Moreover, if Amado's daughter is resurrected through Kawaki's karma, then that would mean creating a new threat. What's even more shocking is the possibility that Amado's daughter could become the final villain. But if Amado intends to resurrect an entity with powers similar to Shibai, it is still possible. The evidence so far suggests that Amado's cyborg creations possess jutsu similar to Shibai's abilities. So, what if about 20 to 40% of Shibai's jutsu power is inherited by Amado's daughter? Although there's no confirmation yet on how much power will be passed down to Amado's daughter, one thing is certain. Amado has his own criteria for making his daughter stronger than any of his other cyborg creations, right? And about Amado and his daughter, there must have been a lot of people who thought that Amado would create a new villain, a final villain for Kawaki and Boruto. Most likely, Akebi was not created to bring his daughter back to life. Yep, you heard it right. Although this sounds like it's against the facts, I doubt if Amado has another plot twist. Instead of wanting to bring his daughter back to life, he has a different plan. But speaking of Akebi and Amado's goal, this actually raises two speculations. Amado's goal is not only to resurrect his daughter, he also wants other things such as creating a new villain. Surely of the two possibilities, there will be those who are confused and ask, why is it like that? Actually, it's simple, guys, and possibly there is something bigger that Amado wants to achieve. But about that, I can't predict what Amado wants to achieve. So far, there have been many irregularities in Boruto's story, especially regarding Amado's plans. One of the big questions is why Amado so stubbornly wants to revive his daughter, Akebi, using Karma Kawaki. In fact, there are other alternatives such as Rinne Tensei. If using Rinne Tensei, there should be no need to bother turning someone into an Otsutsuki or using various other complicated methods. However, the downside is that this technique sacrifices one's life. But wait, doesn't Rinne Tensei not have to cost lives? The important thing is that there is a corpse, right? In this case, Akebi's clone could have been used as a vessel for Rinne Tensei. The thing is, there is a concept that we may not fully understand. Or perhaps Amado isn't actually telling the truth. In Boruto Chapter 18, Amado said, "She is not Delta. That is a fresh clone I prepared as a vessel for the reincarnation of my daughter, Akebi." With Kawaki implementing karma on that vessel, Amado's daughter will be born again according to the data he added into Kawaki's karma. And not only that, Amado also said that the recreating of souls that have many times failed is an act that is only permitted by God. Everything I've done until today was my effort to reach this point. This is the sole purpose of my life. This is a divine act that can only be realized by using karma. Therefore, Kawaki, please help me to achieve it. From this statement, a question arose. How could Kawaki take this concept for granted? In the world of Otsutsuki, their data was compressed into a tiny size and stored in a vessel body. Their souls can then be recalled. For example, why did Ishiki's soul not immediately enter Kawaki's body when he had karma? Because Ishiki's soul is still in Jigen's body. This means that for reincarnation to occur, the soul must still exist in this world. Now, here's the oddity. Akebi has been dead for 15 years and has no karma to compress her data. So how could Amado suddenly be able to create data and use it in Kawaki's karma? Even stranger, if Kawaki then channeled karma into Akebi's clone body, how could Akebi revive? It should be Kawaki who revives, because it is his soul that is caught up in the karma. Karma only contains Akebi's data, not her soul. This is what makes the concept of Amado difficult to accept. Or even I myself am wrong in interpreting all of this. What do you think, guys? Up until now, we haven't seen any instances in the Boruto universe where someone could revive after being dead for years without a clear process. If Amado's plan works, then it would be a major exception in the concept of Otsutsuki reincarnation that has been explained so far. Many suspect that Amado has ulterior motives. From the beginning, he created cyborgs that are extremely powerful, even capable of rivaling legendary shinobi. For example, Kashin Koji, who many people think is the reincarnation of Jiraiya, But with the creation of Koji, I actually think his abilities almost surpass Jiraiya. But about power, I can't conclude which one has more power. But in essence, every cyborg he created has Shinjutsu. Actually, with an analysis that is difficult to accept, especially regarding how to resurrect his daughter, Amado may be recording and collecting all the experiences and abilities of his cyborgs, such as Kawaki, Code, Ada, and Damon. Then this data was fed into Akebi's clone body so that she could master all the Shinjutsu that had been developed. However, to complete this process, Amado still needs karma, as only Otsutsuki can use powers like Shinjutsu. If this theory is correct, then Amado not only wants to resurrect his daughter, but create a figure with almost equal power to Shibai Otsutsuki. This is similar to what Kabuto did when he combined the DNA of Orochimaru and various other ninjas to achieve ultimate power. The question now is, does Amado really want to resurrect Shibai Otsutsuki, or is he creating a new entity with Shibai-like powers? What do you think? But guys, there is a theory that might make a lot of sense. It seems that Amado doesn't want to resurrect Shibai, but wants to be in the same position as Shibai, where he can move to a higher dimension and doesn't need a physical body. In other words, the point is that Amado wants to be immortal, especially since he is a scientist. Because basically, humans have a limited lifespan, so the best option is to make himself immortal. That way, he can do any experiments forever without fear of death. Whether creating creatures, creating worlds, and so on, because when he becomes a god, Amado can do anything. For example, by using Ada's Shinjutsu, he can create any reality. Well, the initial way is that he wants to awaken his daughter first and make his daughter have the combined Shinjutsu abilities of all his cyborgs, or like Shibai, before becoming a god. And after that, when successful, his daughter will give Amado karma, and the two of them will eat many planets together, one of which is Earth, and will eventually become gods like Shibai. I know your reaction to hearing this will be to say that this is nonsense, but guys, reconsider. First, Amado is a scientist. And again, he is a scientist. Every scientist or researcher in the Naruto universe, look at Orochimaru, who has an obsession with eternal life. And what about Amado, who as a scientist has knowledge about Shibai, an Otsutsuki god? Does that knowledge have a personal trigger for Amado himself, like researching and doing various experiments on how the mechanism of an Otsutsuki god can become immortal? And most likely, this is the first step that Amado will start through the resurrection of his daughter. Honestly, even though this is just a theory and seems like an exaggeration, somehow I'm so excited about this. So, what do you guys think? Does it make sense that Amado has a Shibai-like obsession or even wants to be on par with Shibai himself? Thanks to those of you who have liked and subscribed. I'm Nim. See you in the next episode. Bye-bye, Dadabayo.